So I'm just kicking off here detailing my car. We've got the Gearwrench mobile workbench here helping me out in a major way. Able to store. Today we're going to take a look at this Gearwrench mobile work table. We're going to get it unboxed, we're going to get it assembled, and we're going to go ahead and get it into use. So I needed something that was essentially a work table that I could push around. I'm very project oriented. For those of you to follow me, I do all kinds of different stuff. And in particular, things like car detailing, for instance, where I might have a buffer, or I might have, clay, or I might have, whatever, where I don't want to drop it on the ground. I need a place to put things, tools, whatever, and be able to roll it around. And so I looked at this and thought this would suit the bill. Real quick on the stats here, it says that it will support a load of 125 pounds in the center, 65 pounds on the sides, and you can also adjust the height from about 3 feet to 4 feet in height. And then it's got the 4 casters where you can roll it around. So let's get this unboxed, assembled, and let's see how it goes. All right, folks, so we went ahead and got everything out of the packaging. Everything looks like it's painted nice. It's kind of a nice black paint finish to it with the Gearwrench stickers there, and all the different bits and screws. Looks pretty easy to put together. So basically the 2 legs with the rollers on them connect to a central piece, and then there's another central piece here off to the side that connects to the tray, and then they both connect together, and then you just got to put all the plastic parts on for the handles and stuff, and you are good to go. So let's go ahead and start assembling it. So it doesn't specify in the instructions what tools you need, but this is what I found that helps expedite assembly of the Gearwrench mobile workbench here. So just a couple things. I found having a 10mm wrench here, that helped, and then also a 13mm socket and a 12mm socket, a little ratchet tool, and then also some sort of medium Phillips head screwdriver. And then at the very end there are some little plastic tabs that need popped in, and I just used a little soft hammer to seat them. And so that'll help you expedite putting it together. One tip for assembly I can give you folks is get your lock washer and your bolt installed here. So there's a total of 8, 4 on this side and then 4 here on this side. Go ahead and get them started, and then pretty much put it on a flat spot. One of the mistakes that I made, and I've done this before, is I'm a strong dude and I like to crank stuff down and just rah. And so I kind of overdid it, especially with the fact we've got lock washers. You don't really need to kind of overdo it. And I really cranked them down hard and kind of ended up with it a little bit kind of off angle to where it wasn't sitting flush with the ground. And I kind of thought it over. I was like, I think I know what I did. So went back and loosened everything up and all that. And then pretty much just what you do is, like right here, everything is tight. You just want to gradually kind of, work it a little bit at a time, making sure that it stays kind of flush with the ground here, and just gradually tighten these up until they sit, tight with the lock washer, and you should be good to go. So I've read some reviews and I saw some folks that had that issue, and I think it just comes down to what I discovered was I was just really cranking down on those bolts way too hard and way beyond what was needed for it. So now everything is looking good and rolls around just fine, and everything is tight. I just kind of did it little by little and everything worked out. So let's go over the features here and then a real quick wrap up. So the nice thing I found with this, it's almost like a shopping cart here with the handle. You can easily push it around as you need to. It rolls really good, but also too, the rollers aren't too crazy where you'd probably have to put it on kind of a steeper slope for it to start rolling on its own. So they do seem to have a little bit of resistance, but yet it rolls, when you go to push it, it moves. So that works pretty good. Let's look at the tray here. So you've got a couple different compartments here. They have these little rubber mats in there that you can take out. So if they get dirty, they're easy to wash. There's basically the 3 little compartments here. So, you know, if you've got bolts or screws or nuts or whatever, you've got a place here to put them. And then, of course, your central tray here, which can hold a fair amount of stuff. So the other night, for instance, you know, I had a random orbital buffer on here, car polish, other stuff. There's tons of room on here for you to put stuff. And then also, too, like we mentioned before, you know, pretty good weight rating on this. You obviously couldn't put a engine from a car on this. It wouldn't support that weight, but for a lot of regular size parts and different things, tools, whatever, you know, I think for most average stuff out there, this would support it no problem with the weight rating. We discussed that earlier in the video and all that. And then they have another little compartment here with some holes. I can't remember what they specifically marked these out for. Imagine like if you had different tools or whatever that you could kind of slot down in there to hold them or whatever. Yeah, so the tray here looks pretty good. Let me show you here how to adjust the height. So if you want to raise this up right now, it's pretty much at its lowest kind of setting here, which I think is about 3 feet, and I think you can raise it just up over 4 feet. But this right here, all you got to do is loosen this up, and they give you where instead of just having like a screw that'd be kind of a pain, they have the steel bar here, so it's very easy to kind of crank it and spin it around and loosen it up real fast, and then go ahead and you can raise it up from there. So yeah, pretty easy. And then the other thing with how they have this laid out too is that if you do want to store this aside, with the way it is set up, there's enough of a space here where if you wanted to slide something underneath here, you know, like if you weren't going to use this tray for a while, you know, it'd probably be pretty easy to store some other piece of equipment and just kind of shove it in there. So that too. So folks, to wrap this up, I'm going to be getting tons of use out of this. Things like car detailing, projects around the barn. If I just need a temporary workbench somewhere, even a rolled around up the driveway to the house, or rolled outside onto the driveway to do different things during the summer, whatever. Having this mobile workbench is going to be a mega help for me. And so far, very happy with it. I've gone over everything pretty thoroughly with it. And it's, you know, so far in my use, it's worked real well. So definitely check these out, folks, and give them a go. And hopefully this video was useful to you and you got a lot out of it, and y'all have a good one.